Next we have Allison Welch.
Good evening. My name is Allison Welch, and I am a science teacher in this district. Dr. De La Torre, I haven't seen you since the toy because I haven't been coming to the board meetings, but you can ask some of the members who have been on the board many years that I used to be regular. I am here this evening because you are this is the first time you will hear it from me, Dr. De La Torre, but every other superintendent I've spoke to and many of these board members have heard me talk about science labs, and taking our students forward into the next generation. Science is a very expensive subject to teach. And next year, the state of Texas has said we're going to go back and tell you 40% lab and field experiences. And they will be tested on the lab and field experiences on the new test. The middle school and K through 8, there's great disparity among what the students are offered. The lab I am in fits inside of the Hamburg lab, almost twice. We need to look at lab stations and lab facilities that are adequate, that are safe. We still have not adjusted in some of our older schools to having lab stations that are wheelchair accessible. I have been, I think since the year 2003, wanting, because I've had wheelchair and physically handicapped students that need a special station. We can't just put them at any table, because when you're working with chemicals of any kind, you don't want to cause, if there's an accidental spill, it needs to be on the proper treated surface, which lab stations have. I also have a concern that of the equity for the students. I, in the past, said I'd be glad to work with the committee. I'd be glad to work with anyone at all. And I hope that you look at this next year, despite our deficits. But I had suggested that we might look at giving budgets to campuses. It's up to the principal how they spend the money. And with us having labs, I think if you took an inventory, you're going to find a great difference between what some schools have and some schools don't. And we have a lot of consumables. The safety issue we have, besides some facilities, is that some of that can be solved. I know that we had worked on it at Socorro High, is that trying to talk to our administrators, but we really need your support in making sure that our classrooms do not exceed numbers of whatever that per square footage is recommended, and there are state guidelines. And I think that's an easy fix. To balance these loads and make it where we don't have 32 and then 25, 26 or 35. I think that's fixable if we just look at the schedule. Those are my concerns. My name is Allison Welch. I have been in this district now. I was looking at the service record the other day, like 26 years or something, 24 years. It was unbelievable. And I'm going to be around for a couple more years, and I'm really trying to speak for all the teachers that are unable to come. I was recycling, some of you remember that. So that's why I'm dressed this way, working with my kids after school, trying to make up work and learn the vocabulary and all those good things that we do. But I would appreciate you looking at that. I'll be glad to work on any committee. I think I can possibly be recommended by some people on the school board as a hard worker. And I do want us to do something about this. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mrs. Welch.
Thank you.
Dr. Del.
Could we ask Dr. La Torre if this could be a topic placed on the facilities committee so we can at least get some initial discussion on this?
Absolutely.
And I think that's possibly, you know, it's an item for several different committees, curriculum and instruction, finance, facilities, so many aspects that go into a great science classroom. So, you know, we had a task force for fine arts when that was brought up, that there were some, that the programs were starting to dwindle and there were some deficiencies. So this might be an area of consideration for that type of project also.
Yes, ma'am.